Hi, I've literally in the last couple of minutes finished watching The Green Knight, the new film by David Lowery, released after some delays finally on Amazon Prime in the UK, although it's also on a limited theatrical release. It's a retelling of the story of Gawain and the Green Knight, the knight in Arthur's court who, on Christmas Day, the court is confronted by a Green Knight who says that any man who can land a blow on him will win his axe, but he must return a year later to the Green Knight's Green Chapel, where the knight will be able to land an equivalent blow on him. Forward steps the young and arrogant Gawain, who beheads the knight, who offers no resistance at all. The knight then picks up his head, rides away, and reminds Gawain that he has a meeting with him in a year's time. We jump forward a year, and the story follows Gawain as he journeys across the countryside to to the knight's chapel. It's the most boring, facile, over-designed, and overthought film I've seen this year. I was bored almost immediately. It's beautifully designed. The production design, the costumes, much of the cinematography is beautiful to look at, but it's totally empty. There is very little to this film other than the most basic moralizing that you can't run away from your responsibilities. You need to um, honor agreements that you make with others. You need to, if you're a grown up, you have to act like a grown up, or you won't be a knight in King Arthur's court. Um, and what really annoyed me is the film's ending, which I won't go into, and it's apparently different from that in the original poem. Rips off a much better film, which I also can't name because it's a spoiler. Um, but if you've seen it and you're familiar with other perhaps revisionist works about religion, you might be able to guess what it is. But it does so little to uh, help the film in any way. It's just so dull and empty. The characters are flat and bland. Really, Gawain is the only major character in the film. Other characters come and go. We have Sean Harris as King Arthur, Kate Dickie in one scene as Queen Guinevere, um, Alicia Vikander, who seems to have learned how to act since I last saw her, is a bit more sort of energetic than she usually is, actually having a little bit more personality. Plays a couple of characters. And in the lead role, Dev Patel is really doing his best with the material. Um, you get the sense that he believes every word he's saying of this script and is really putting all he can into it. But the script is so empty and so led by the design and so seemingly convinced of its own profundity and importance when it really has nothing to say other than recounting a revisionist uh, myth that has the most obvious and bland and childish of morals. Um, Ralph Ineson as the Green Knight is, I admit, quite an impressive performance as he's covered in prosthetics in his appearances, and they are very, very good prosthetics. Again, the design element of the film is very, very strong, and the effects work is very good, although there's a CGI fox, which is a little bit questionable. It's just, I just go back to it, there's nothing there. It's a film with no substance. It's all surface. There's no weight to it. There's no meat to it in any way. And anything that it leans towards is ripped off from other material. I've seen only one other David Lowery film, his remake of Disney's Pete's Dragon. Um, the decision to entrust him with remaking a Disney film is as insane now as it seemed then, because that too was very self serious and portentous and unwatchably boring. And it was supposed to be a Disney movie for a family audience. And I thought, what child is going to be entertained by this? I'm an adult and my patience is already exhausted, and I'm only half an hour in. Um, but The Green Knight is really quite a bad film. Just empty, thoughtless, obsessed with its own appearance and own superficiality, with no depth and no weight to it of any kind. It's a total dud. just look at some stills from the movie and you'll be getting more out of it than I did, because you won't waste 2 hours of your life. It's the worst film I've seen this year, and David Lowery has had 2 films out of me now. He's not getting any more.